Well, hello again, my friends. You know, if you're watching my videos, I consider you a friend. So, I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but, you know, I can use all the friends I can get. So, anyway, today, thank you so much for joining me. Here, let me turn this other light on. Maybe that'll help. This is my box that I made for keeping all of my Craftly Haul things in. And right now, the only thing in this box is day 1 and day 2. And by the end of June, or by the end of this video, well, by the end of this series of videos, when we get to day 30, that will be the end of our makes. So this box will be full. And this is just a shoe box. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, you can kind of see, this was the actual design of the shoe box. And I painted it black and slopped some brown on it. Maybe a couple different shades of brown. I did not paint the bottom because I think these stripes are kind of cool and they kind of go with the story. But I needed to cover up the name of the shoe brand, and I don't remember what name this shoe brand was, but it's a box that a friend gave me. And when we start making our remakes of these projects, I'm going to figure out some sort of a plaque to put here that says Craftly Haul. Anyway, and then I just took black and I slopped it around on here and I slopped it down in here. And other people, if you go watch other people's videos, they've done some real fancy boxes. Some people have feet on their boxes and metal corners, and some people have lined the inside with paper. I'm going towards more grungy. As you can see with all the black splotches and the black outside. It's not very fancy. But anyway, I'm going to set it off to the side here. And today's about day 3. But I also wanted to show you during these videos, I'm going to show you some of the wonderful things that I've discovered along the way of making. And this is making aged tape. Now this is parchment paper, and I don't have very many pieces on here now, but I learned this during making one of Tracie Fox Creative's design team showed me this in one of their videos that they did. And they just took regular Scotch tape, put it on here. Let's see if I can find some Scotch tape. I don't have any right here. I took it out of my craft room to use it for something. But anyway, they took regular Scotch tape and just put it down here. You can see where I put pieces here. And she used different color alcohol inks. Now, I don't have alcohol inks, so I used regular acrylic paint. You probably could use watercolor or markers or crayons or anything that you've got. And I just kind of, I was trying to do each piece, and then I thought, well, why don't I just slop it around, you know, like a collage. And then after I started pulling them off, I thought, wow, when I get done with this, maybe I could actually use this on tags or something, because this is kind of a cool pattern without the tape. But anyway, and the tape, it sticks to the parchment paper good enough to be able to paint on it. You got to be careful because sometimes it slides off because it doesn't really stick so much that you can't get it off. And it's almost like it had never been on there. All the stickiness is still there. But of course, if you're afraid of it not sticking well enough, you could also always glue it on. But see, it kind of looks like old tape. Anyway, I'll put this back on here. And I've used this in some of my projects. Now, I don't remember what day it was that I learned this, but it must have been like day 15 or 16 or 18 or something like that. So I don't have any of this in any of the more recent days, but you'll see that in some of my makes. And I made this for one of the days, and it didn't get put in, so it's just been sitting here on my table. So I'll have to use it for one of the days. It's just a regular, actually it's a coffee dyed envelope. And I went ahead and took brown and yellow paint, because I just recently got inks, and covered up this because I thought this looked too modern. And I put some coffee dyed papers in here and just folded them up for journaling, pages. I actually folded it this way because I was going to put it in something, whatever I put it in, and it was too big. So I had to fold it. So I was going to fold it like this to put it in, and then it never did get put in. So it's just been sitting here on my desk. But anyway, here's also another thing I've done, and we haven't even got to day 3 yet. Here's another thing I started. I don't know, I must have started this about day 3 or day 4. And these are just free things I found on the internet. And this is a butterfly I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and it's got a felt pad on the back to make it 3D, and I may have glued down the wings. No, I don't think I did. Anyway, and here's Craftly Haul, and this came from one of the pages where I was running out of ink. I don't know if you can tell that it's kind of purple, and I took some black paint with my finger and just kind of smudged it around. And this is a paper out of the kit, and I did the same thing. I took black ink and kind of smudged it around to make it more grungy. And because this whole thing is about the Committee of Psychic Investigations, case number 374, that's on a lot of these things. And so this is like a little evidence book that Ernest Brundle may have put together, because it's like, it's got the little story bits in it. That's all that's in here. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just figured I'd start it and it would fix itself at some point. So I'll have to go back and grunge up these papers and maybe put something here to cover this up. But I just think this is kind of cute, kind of cool. I've taken a little story bit, and when they're purple, that means I was running out of ink. And then I've taken some of the tag part, and some of them I've put coffee dyed paper and maybe newspapers behind them. And this is day 1. And this is actually a little mini composition book that I got from the Dollar Tree. And so I've taken 2 pages and glued them together to make one page thick enough to actually hold this without buckling and ripping and whatever. So this is day 2. See, I've taken 2 pages and glued them together for all of these. Day 3. I don't know if you want me to read these or not. This is not the second page. See, that's got 2 pages there. And I was going to leave some pages in between. And sometimes I left too many pages. That was way too many pages. Anyway, here's day 4. I have not completed this. I think I've only got up to day 6 on this. Here's day 5, day 6. Oh, there's day 7 and day 8. See, those pages aren't quite glued together well enough. Day 9. This one is day 10. I got farther along than I thought I was going to get. It's not something out of the kit. I don't know where, this came from a trade. I a member of some trade groups, junk journal trading groups, and that just came in one of the envelopes. Here's day 11. I figured that might go in here with something. Day 12. And here's just a journaling tag I made out of regular cardstock and some smudged up black paint. Day 13. Wow, I got quite a ways. That's it, because right here I put day 14. I've glued that page together. Day 15. So I'm prepping for getting them done. And here's just another cardstock bookmark thing I made, and with a wax seal. There's quite a few wax seals, and you can print them big or small, you know, however you want to size them. Anyway, I figured I'd go through all the days, but I've only gotten up to 13 so far. So this is another thing I'm still working on. And here is day 3. Day 3. And here's a real key I got from Temu. I think I got it from Temu. I got a pack of keys. And I don't have a sewing machine, so I don't sew anything. So I couldn't figure out how to attach this. So I just used a little clip. Instead of sticking it down in the envelope, I didn't want to lose it in all my other tags. And here are the owners. Now this is Alice and Jeffrey. And Binder. Their last name is Binder, but I don't remember their first names. When Alice and Jeffrey's family moved out, the house sat dormant and empty for a while, and then these people bought it, and then the story continues. So these are the two couple owners of Craftley Hall. And this is day number 3. And it says, in the early spring of 1863, work began on the building of what was to later become Craftley Hall. A doctor and his wife later take residence. Later. The doctor and his wife. So, Jeffrey and Alice, Jeffrey is not the doctor. This guy is the doctor. The second owner is doctor. So, here is all of what I made for day 3. And this is Craftley Hall, and I just made a tuck right here. Oh, I see. I remember this day. This is not a tuck. It's a flip, I guess. And then here's the stairs. Stairway. There's a stairway in the house. And then here's a hallway going to a doorway. And then is this a pocket or another? So it's a pocket. Oh, the pocket with the letter to Mr. Binder. Mrs. Binder. Does that say Mrs. Binder? Yeah, Mrs. Binder. I didn't put any stamps or anything on this. Thank you for your recent... I can't read that, but it is signed Ernest Brundle. So, and I don't know that they tell us their first name. They're just Mr. and Mrs. Binder. But Mrs. Binder wrote to Ernest Brundle about the ghostly activity in the house. And this is his correspondence back. And then he comes to visit to find out what's going on in the house. So that's a pocket. And then it opens up. And here's another pocket. And this is the tag that she gave us for day number 3. It was this and this one And then I haven't read the story bit yet. Maybe it's on the back. It's in here somewhere. This is a journal tag. Oh, and like a little journal that just fits in the pocket here. Among all of the bottles of remedy stuff, because Alice and Rose came down sick. Okay. And over here, what is over here? Over here is a little pocket with a map. With a map of Craftley Hall, which is a journal card. And maybe this is the story bit. No, it's not. It's, I don't know, some sort of ghostly detector. It's a journal card, but it's something Ernest Brundle brought to detect ghosts. Okay. And then you fold it over this way, and here's a pocket back here. Oh, I didn't put these on cardstock. These are just regular copy paper, and I don't like doing journal cards on copy paper because they rip so easily and they're so flimsy. But anyway, these are pictures that are in the kit. There's a lot of really neat ephemera stuff in the kit. And there's a clock. And then on this side, it's all journal space. But I didn't see the story bit. So what happened here? Did I forget I had this envelope here? Because this is a letter from Ernest Brundle to Mrs. Binder after her correspondence, which might be what that word says, to him. And this is a letter to Mr. Brundle because it says right here, oh dear, it's glued down. It appears to be glued down. Why would I do that when I need to read the letter? It says Deborah. Deborah. Nope. It says something. Binder. Something Binder. And this was sent by the ministry. Oh. Good grief. Binder. Did I say Brundle or Binder? Well, anyway, this return address says Craftley Binder. Mr. and Mrs. Binder of Craftley Hall. So this was also sent to Mr. and Mrs. Binder of Craftley Hall. But I do not think I made this one a pocket. I glued that all down, which is why there's a clip here holding the letter to it. And what else was... apparently I was going to glue this down somewhere and I didn't. So I'll just stick that in there with that. Over here. Why is this here when I have a return address here? Oh, maybe this was supposed to go here. Well, apparently I kind of skimped on some of my days. Okay, well, let's put this in here. And we'll know when we remake. we'll know to put the actual addresses in there. Oh, yes, so I now, where was this? Was this just shoved in here somewhere? Oh, here's also a map in this pocket or something. A journal thing in here. It says May 1920. In here, I don't remember if this came from the kit or if I found this online. I'm sure this came out of the kit. Let's go back and read the story. Now that said 1920, and I think this probably was just sitting in here somewhere. Where's the story bit? The story is a story in the envelope. Here's the story bit. In the late spring of 1863, work began on the building. 1863. So 1920 would be 60 years after that. So I might need to, like, blacken out that 1920. Or maybe it could be believable that it was 1920. It was a journal from there because possibly they owned it for that long. I don't know. If they look like this when they bought it. But I don't know. In these old pictures, sometimes people look older. You know, they fancied up their hair. They put on their best clothes because there was like a one-picture deal. And they were probably so expensive, they didn't take very many pictures. You know, at least I snap a picture just about every half a second because, you know, if a special moment goes by, I want a picture to remember it. My problem is I end up having so many pictures that I lose track of what I've got where. But anyway, okay, so that's day 3. That's a couple of neat things I've learned on the way. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and stick around for more because this is only day 3. We've got from this day to day 30 to go, and then we'll start recreating from day 1. So if you don't start the challenge before then, you can start it right along with me because we'll be into July when I start recreating. Okay, sorry about the shaking. The camera's still on the table. I'll figure out how to fix that. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.